Is Frankenstein's monster famous for acting monstrous, or because he's made the way he is? To anyone that's ever made something out of creativity, you'll know that there's a process involved of refinement, cutting, trimming, and replacing to make your creation the best that it can be. And by the time you finish over your hard work, you feel a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction that's just hard to describe to those who don't understand. As someone who's been creating videos for years now, I can wholeheartedly agree. Movies are just like any other creative endeavor, and they all go through the same process of change and growth to become their best selves, like a blacksmith pounding away at a bar of iron. Each piece of the film must be fine-tuned so that it will be as helpful as possible to the rest of the story. When it comes to the different phases of a film's creative process, there are 3: pre-production, production, and post-production. While pre-production and primary production are within the realms of producers, directors, cinematographers, etc., the post-production falls under the iron, pale-skinned grasp of the editors.
We who dwell in our man caves all day staring at screens, pressing buttons, drinking mountains of Red Bull, and barely seeing the sunlight once a year. We editors are the kings of the post-production.
Oh, and the musicians too, I guess. All jokes aside, editors work closely with the directors to create the vision they seek for the product. By the time the footage makes it to the editor's desk, there's easily anywhere from 20 to 40 hours of video to sift through on average. If you've ever wondered why it takes so long for a movie to come around after the shooting's wrapped up, well, there's one major reason. Such a large portion of time is taken to file through the hours of footage to see what the very best can be, and how to order the film to use it best. With every scene, there comes a transition, and there's a lot of ways that people can pull those off. George Lucas loves his wipes, and everyone's familiar with the classic jump cut. But sometimes people can get pretty darn clever with how they jump around. Montages as well are a frequent occurrence in some movies, including everyone's probably favorite montage, Rocky. Now that made montages famous. 3 things that editors must keep in mind while they are doing their work is the coherence, continuity, and the rhythm of the film. There are many ways to interpret how those need to be executed, but editors have just as much of their own stylization in these matters as directors do. But they also often work best while being together with the director, since the director has been overseeing the entirety of the vision of the film up to this point, and they have an idea of what they want the end product to look like when all is said and done. Thus, you'll see many editors and directors working constantly with each other, like Christopher Nolan and Lee Smith. They've learned how the other works, and they support the creative decisions that each makes to give the film a healthy balance of both judgment and character. However, if you were to mix things up, you can either get something significantly different, or just complete garbage. Take this scene from Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and see which you prefer. The original cut, or the Michael Bay cut. As you can see with the first one, you can see a truck chasing John Connor and the Terminator. In the second one, you can see what druggies experience on their first trip on LSD. If only this was just a funny example that I made up for the video. Nope. Here's another. And another.
Yeah, no, let me help. Man's gotta do it. Ah!
Are you okay?
Okay.
Allow me.
And another.
I think we go for
So this is Queen.
Yeah, it seems like there's a trend somewhere in there. Famous editors include the aforementioned Lee Smith, Thelma Schoonmaker, Artie Bajaj, Marcia Lucas, Michael Kahn, Julie Dash, and Arthur Schmidt, along with many, many more. There's a lot more diversity on the editing scene than there used to be, especially considering that most film editors were women when the industry was still young. Nowadays, anyone who's willing to learn the software, to take notes on the tips and tricks that many others have pioneered before them, they can make their impact known on the industry. Editing is as crucial a part of the craft as holding the camera and writing the script. While we may be hiding behind our desks in our darkened rooms, editors have as much of a creative love for their work as any other member of the film cast and crew. And thus, it is vital to be able to ensure that you work closely with the editor in whatever position you might be, even if you are a fellow editor. Regardless of how good it may have looked during the pre-production and production phases, everyone knows that the meal ain't done till it's finally cooked. And afterwards, you can look on your work with pride, knowing that you put your heart, soul, and remaining good eyesight into the project.